everybody. We were just having like a super serious.
We were having, no, it was a serious conversation, and I said none of that.
And Jordan said, "We ain't got time for this. I need to be stupid."
My exact words were, "Let's talk about nonsense for an hour." Okay, before we dive into this, because I need to maybe say hello.
Yep.
Okay, because so I was in class the other day.
Yeah.
And
do any of your students listen to this?
Okay, so that's where this is going. So one of my students is like, "Hey, we have a podcast," and I'm like, "Cool." So like her and a bunch of like her roommates and friends gather around in their dorm and they just talk.
Yeah,
and I'm like, "That's really cool." I was like, "I have a podcast. I have 2 of them actually." And she's like, "For real, you got podcasts?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "You share me yours, and I'll share you the link for mine." And she's like, "All right." She's like, "What's yours about?" I'm like, "Nothing."
Exactly.
She's like, "We sit around and talk about God, and we talk about like what He's doing in our lives and these issues." And I'm like,
no.
We talk about bowling.
So I had a friend not too long ago. She's not like a big podcast person.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Send me a link to listen." And I was like, "Okay."
I'm horrible at self-promotion. I'm horrible at it.
I sent it. I was like, "Girl, listen up." And she texted me back and she's like, "So this is not what I was expecting."
You expected this like deep theological thing, or whatever. And it's like, "So you guys ever get the urge to punch somebody in the head?" Like, that's what our podcast is about.
I know. I was like, "Girl, if you were expecting like deep,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We get deep into greasing and gracing topics."
Yeah, like let me tell you what frustrates me in this world is what that boils down to. So anyway, if you are one of my students, prior students, current students, whatever, welcome.
Hi. I don't know any of y'all, so
maybe someday you guys will be my friend Kim in real life. She'll give you an autograph. She's the best part of this podcast. Let me tell you what, I'm the anchor man. I'm the one bringing up the rear.
It's all in the laugh, baby. That's the magic right there.
Good grief. And I need to get better at because I always forget to click the share button on social media and stuff like that. Yeah. I ask people to do it and I won't even do it myself. Come on, man.
Jordan.
Use your platform for your own thing. And I'm just like, okay.
I have definitely laid off a little bit because I don't want to be that person.
Well, that's what people are going to do, right? They're going to be like, "Oh, you post all this really inspirational things." And I'm like,
"Those 2 idiots."
How do you feel about the ocean? People are like, "What?"
Yeah.
What is happening? So I'm sorry. I don't know what to say right now. I'm not apologizing for anything.
Don't be sorry.
Anyway, this is number 45, by the way.
We're so close to 1 year.
45.
Woo! Raising the roof.
So if you're still around from day one.
If we have you since episode
you're an
1.
Addict. You're addicted.
You're an addict,
I'm telling you
but
what.
also man.
Hey, okay. So with that said, because we always banter for the first couple minutes anyway, I want to go back to our previous podcast about crime, how you talked about true crime.
Yeah.
I think I figured out why it's so addictive.
Okay, go.
It's the suspense. It's the suspense of the whole thing.
No, it's not.
I got sucked into a show the other day. And I'm like, why am I watching this? I'm one of those, percentage of people. And I'm like, what am I doing right now? I'm in this. I could not get out of it. And I was like, why? It was the way it was edited, the music behind it. People are getting good at sucking you into stuff. I couldn't let go.
Turns out it was Scooby-Doo.
I mean, Shaggy is very convenient.
What are they going to do in the mystery machine?
Whoa, Scoop. I was in.
I don't know if I watched.
And it was the dumbest thing. Whenever it was over, I was like, why?
I thought I heard music.
No, that's outside.
You should have just seen my face, guys, because I totally
my windows are open right now, and Kim just totally heard a truck go by. She's like, Jesus.
Second coming.
Hello.
I thought I was going to hear trumpets.
No, I heard a semi. If you hear a semi. Man, I was way off in the interpretation.
Barreling.
I swore it was a trumpet. Turns out it's brakes.
We're so dumb.
All right. Anyway.
Oh my goodness.
So I just
Well,
I wanted to throw that out there, like, because I almost texted you the other day and was like, I'm in, I'm doing it, I'm one of the world. I'm like, why am I doing this? I could not get out of it. And
but see, it can't be the suspense because like you know what the outcome is.
I did. I knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. Well,
the guy dies.
Well, or there's like this crazy twist, and you're like, I didn't see that coming.
But like.
And
it's
then
in
they
the
end
news,
it, credits roll, and I'm like, well, true. Well, that's the true stuff. Like, I'm talking like just like this one was like a fictitious tale.
Oh, you didn't say that.
No, I'm sorry. I should have prefaced with that.
Fake news.
All right. So if you guys, first of all, if you do listen to Grease and Grace, like, we love you.
Welcome back.
We do. We think the world of you guys.
Welcome back,
and if you're new,
back.
welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Sometimes our ADD.
That's a great song.
Really, just like.
That's who redid that. Was that like Mace? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whatever happened to him? Is he in jail?
No, he came back for a while. He was in jail. I don't remember what.
Oh, somebody that fun and lovable, like, go to jail. Like, I just don't understand it.
I mean, we all make bad
choices. You're like a teddy bear. You had P. Diddy, and then you had him. Well, and you're like, if I'm picking this, yeah. Yeah, you're going P. Diddy.
That's a buzzword right now.
Nope.
I don't know.
Taboo buzzer, that one.
He like came back, and that was like, so that song, I had moved away when I was in high school, and this is totally going into a totally different story, but I moved away when I was in high school, and my best friend, I went to come and visit, and she made this like little whole photo thing of when I came back to visit, and she was so excited, and it was to that Welcome Back song.
Welcome back.
She was my only friend who knew who Mace was.
Ain't what Mace do. Got a lot of girls that love to replace you. I can
That's
hang.
Jordan's prior life.
Yeah, let me tell you what. I would. Yep. Actually, this was like. There was that's like 10 years ago. I met somebody and they were listening to something and I knew like all the lyrics and they're like, I don't think you're allowed to know the lyrics to that. Yeah.
Like,
like, wait, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, Saved by Grace.
Well, I tell you about the testimony of how God saved me.
I put my hand up. I was like, only by the grace of God. Just give me some segue.
Man. Yeah, I don't know what happened exactly to him. He came back, but I think he just got old.
Yeah,
like
maybe, yeah.
After a while,
you just can't do it anymore.
Can't keep up.
Yeah. I mean, the tracksuits
all them
gotta
young whippersnappers be taking them places.
You traded your tracksuits for a pair of khakis,
for a fedora,
and a red
and a 3-piece suit. With matching shoes.
For those of you who don't know, Kim's got if you look so corporate. You look so corporate right now.
I got a meeting after this.
I'm just saying, you look super corporate.
Sometimes I come in looking real homeless. Sometimes I come in here looking real professional, and sometimes I come in here looking real corporate. Today I chose the corporate life.
Listen, sometimes I'm a bum, sometimes I'm the best, and sometimes just get over it.
I'm as comfy as I can be right now.
All right, so if you're here, you're listening to the world famous Grease and Grace.
Yep.
I mean, from nation to
don't
nation.
check it, but here we are.
Yeah, don't fact check that. That's not okay.
But it is.
But each week we take on a new topic. We dive into greasy, graceful aspects of the life we live. Sometimes current events, sometimes pop culture, sometimes it's like just things that we're like need to be discussed, like bowling, for example.
Bowling, which still shocked me.
Shock me.
Dialogue we have. So
we could probably do a couple hours on that.
I told Josh right after that, I was like, we're going bowling with the Mucks. And he was like, when? And I was like, we got to set it up.
It doesn't matter.
And he goes, is Jordan good? And I was like,
no.
I mean, he has a ball. And he goes, I don't want to go bowling with people who know what they're doing. And I was like, it's about having fun, homie.
I love that you're like, he has a ball, which means he's instantly got to be good. That's not true. We covered this in the last episode. We're not going back to it. Anyway, Kim gives us a little bit of direction. And what I mean is she gives a topic of the week.
Obviously, we need direction.
Right. And then what I do is I give you a little bit of insight on it. We'll talk about the greasy side of things, which is like, don't like that. And then the graceful side of things, which is like, oh, this isn't so bad. So that's what we do here at the old world famous Grease and Grace. So Kim, today we are talking about...
We are talking about the future that is happening for you tomorrow.
Oh.
We're going on spring break, baby. It's spring. Spring break time.
Yeah, man.
So
we pretty much just gave away when we record this. If you know, you're like,
well,
it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Does everybody know when you're leaving? Have you announced it?
I think the whole world is going where I'm going because I've talked to like 10 people and they're like, we're going there too. Not to the same destination, but
did not choose a destination.
Oh, you didn't?
That everybody else is going to. In fact,
you're going though, right?
We're going somewhere. But somebody, when I told them, they were like, what?
Like, why would you go to Ohio?
What state? What state?
Is it my going?
Yeah, you.
Florida.
No, Bill right next to me.
What's up, William? You like William? Will? Bill?
Oh, man.
I'm going to Florida.
You're going to Florida.
Yeah.
Nice and warm.
Yep. Where are you going?
Colorado.
Oh, there's a couple people going to Colorado. You gonna ski?
Really? No. No, because I need... So Josh is not a skier.
Yeah.
Owen is
I
not
can't see him
sports
skiing
inclined.
at all.
Yeah. And Owen is not sports inclined.
Yeah.
So my goal is to teach Miles.
Yeah.
Take him up to like
Oh, you're
Michigan.
going to ski.
I love skiing.
Yeah.
Miles and I are like the adventure junkies.
Okay.
And so the plan is like next year-ish, I think I'm going to start taking him skiing in Michigan because I don't want to spend all that money. I don't want to spend money on a ski trip for Miles to just go down a hill once and then be like, I'm done. I want hot chocolate.
Yeah.
I want him to learn how to ski. I want him to do it. And there's a place that's like 45 minutes away. It's not wildly expensive.
Yeah.
So learn how to do it first. And then as he's older, then we'll go on like a big Colorado ski trip.
That's sweet. Like
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Like I went there last year in like February. Loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah, so we're not skiing. We're not skiing.
But you say you're going to ski with Miles.
Not this time.
Not this time.
He doesn't know how to ski yet.
Yeah. I do not want to teach my kids how to ski. Nope, don't want to do that.
I don't want to teach Owen and Josh how to ski.
Yeah, here,
teach them
Clarence,
how to hang out.
teach my kids how to ski. I will be gone. Just let me know when they're ready to go. It's like training a puppy. Like, here's my dog.
I probably will get like an instructor that first time because I haven't skied in a minute.
It's not bad to like brush up.
Yeah, and so I'll just like say it for Miles and be like, he doesn't know what he's
doesn't know what he's
doing,
doing.
and then like
just
lean in, like, what's he saying?
What's he saying?
Am I supposed to pizza?
Am I doing this
or
right, Dan?
French fry?
Oh, like he's like, what? I thought I was teaching your kid. You are.
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
doing
you're
that
doing a good
right?
job.
No, he's doing it perfect. Like what?
Oh, okay.
You on the other hand.
Like, I'm matching him. Is he doing it
You
right?
rode the short bus here. That's what you did. You actually came on a bus. Like,
yeah, I love skiing. I just haven't done it in a really long time. And we don't get snow hardly at all anymore.
We don't,
Like,
no.
it's dumb. Anyways.
All right, so you ready?
spring break.
You want me to define it? Spring break is a vacation period at universities and schools that include the Easter holiday. It takes place in early Northern Hemisphere spring. Introduced in the U.S. during the 1930s, spring break has been observed in Europe since the late 19th century and is observed in many other countries. Spring break is associated with partying at warm weather locations.
That does not say that. Does it really? Shut up.
It's so funny. And then the best part is, like, in the definition, they break it down by country. So I am not going to go through all these, but they have an Asia, they have a Europe.
Give us like two.
All right.
Give us
so, let's just say Japan. In Japan, the spring break starts with the end of the academic year in late March and ends around April 7th with the beginning of the new academic year.
Okay.
You have like Taiwan. Spring break usually refers to the consecutive days off of Tomb Sweeping Day and a thing called Children's Day.
Tomb Sweeping Day.
Yeah,
that sounds like Legends of the Hidden Temple type of situation right there.
It's a Chinese festival observed.
90s kids, if you know.
Hit me up. Yeah, it's like a Chinese festival or whatever.
Wow.
And Children's Day, which is like in honor of children who from like the 1950s or something like that. And then the list is endless.
Weird.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. But
how about just like because we're sick of being inside? And
yeah, I feel like that's why we go to spring break. Do you ever feel like people like that live in the warm weather locations where people come to? They're like, don't come to our house. Like, why are you here?
So I have a friend she lives in Florida. She lives in Orlando.
Okay.
And every time that like I look to like travel there. She's like, don't go in these months. Everything is stupid expensive. And she was just complaining about this the other day because she was like, things get stupid expensive. Everybody jacks up their prices because tourists come down. And she's like, and the problem is that then the tourists pay for all of the prices and then they leave. But us locals have to deal with those prices because everybody was paying them. So why don't the locals pay them kind of a thing? And she's like, it's dumb. And everything gets so backed up because nobody knows how to drive in Florida. She goes on a whole...
Where do they go? Where's this
They
at?
live
Orlando?
in Orlando.
Oh, okay. Like there's some locations that are listed here, like for example, Panama City Beach, Daytona Beach, Fort Lauderdale, South Padre. But it's interesting because some of these places, like you take Panama City, for example, they started as like a spring break like destination for students. 300,000 students traveled to that destination in 2016, which is wild to me.
I blame MTV.
Oh, I do too. But
through and through.
Then it decreased in regards to students and families took over. Well, duh, because what happened?
The students turned into parents.
Yeah, exactly. You went to spring
Maybe
break.
from one of those spring
became
breaks.
a parent.
Hey, y'all, make good choices while you're out there. If any of your students are listening.
That's so funny. I would love to know the correlation to that. Like, you know what? 5 years ago, we came down here, your mom and I.
Dad, we were living it up. Let me show you the club.
Clubs have turned into like trampoline
Chili's.
parks.
All you can eat buffet.
Like, man, 10 years ago, this used to be the best bar in Panama City Beach. Now it's a Sky Zone. It's so funny. That's so true. I didn't even think about that. Because, okay, 16, that would be 10. That's 9 years ago.
Right
10
at
years
the
ago.
time. Oh.
Hello, Timmy.
Do any of y'all got stories? Don't tell us about them on air, but you can tell us. You can spill that tea at our Gmail. We'll be sipping on that sweet tea all spring break long, baby.
Be like, listen to this. Listen to what happened. Oh, my goodness. And you talked about spring break. So Daytona Beach, for example, this is so fun. I'm just going to read this to you. After Fort Lauderdale started discouraging college students from vacationing there for spring break in the mid-'80s, Daytona Beach Mayor Larry Kelly approved on national television to encourage college vacationers to come to Daytona Beach instead. Soon after, beer and cigarette brands started advertising in Daytona Beach for spring break, and MTV spring break coverage moved to Daytona Beach in 1986.
Wait, how long did MTV do spring break? Because, like, okay, listen, if you
how long did they do it?
If you grew up like spending spring break at home because you were poor like me, then like all you had to do was watch TV and MTV. You're home alone because your parents are working.
Spring break went. You're gonna go crazy here because it's way more than you think it is. It's from 1986 to 2014 is when MTV spring break took place.
It went all the way to 2014.
That's wild
like the
to me.
televised.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I think it's crazier that if you go back to 1986, that just feels so long ago. But
is that 30 years? 40 years? That's 40 years.
Yeah.
20 to 20. Yeah.
They don't do it anymore. But like even like Lil Wayne performed in Panama City Beach on 2009. So
wow.
Yeah.
That was like I loved watching Spring Break on MTV. Because my parents didn't allow us to watch MTV when they were home, and so but like they were at work.
I mean, you got Blink 182 in the 2000s. You got Aaliyah in 1997. Joey Lawrence in 1993.
Wow.
All those things.
Those names.
Oh, we dropping some.
Wow.
Get excited. Man, Aaliyah. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yikes. She's still alive? Or did she die? Aaliyah died, didn't she? Yeah.
She died tragically in a plane
2001,
accident.
yeah.
That was a big hit to the R&B industry.
All right. Anyway, what's the grease here with spring break? Because I don't want to go down just that vein.
So I have one grease, maybe a couple. We'll discover them as we go.
There's so much here.
So spring break to me right now. If you live in our town, there's like 4 places.
Ain't nobody gonna be at church on Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Everybody's leaving.
But there's like 4 places
to go.
That people go.
Yeah, majority of them in Florida.
Town.
Yeah.
There's at least 2 places in Florida. I know of 1 place in Alabama.
Yeah.
So maybe 3 places.
Yeah.
That are wildly popular.
Yep.
Okay. I'm leaving my town.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my town for a week.
Okay.
You
don't want to see?
I don't want to see.
I won't see anybody. Like,
wanna
I'm
see
going to a place
anybody.
where nobody's at.
But you, like, people run it. Where are you going to, like?
No, I won't run into anybody. I guarantee
Can you
I
give
won't
us
run
the
into
address of where you're
I guarantee you. No. Because people be like, oh, I'm going to find him.
No, but, like, there are people who, like, see each other.
Oh, yeah. Like, they go down and they're like, oh, hey.
And it's like, no, I'm on my, like, vacation self mode.
Yeah.
You're not ready for that because you see, like,
I can guarantee you nobody's going to Colorado, Kim. I'm just going to throw that out there.
That's we are heading west.
Are you flying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't want to drive that.
Yeah, so our plan is to, like, head west for a while.
Okay.
Before we do, like, anything else because, like, we have yet to see the West.
Yeah, I love the West is fantastic. I mean, we've said this in the podcast a couple of times, but like, man, I love it out there. I love California. I love that you can ski in the morning and you can surf at night. Like that, it's just pretty.
Where are you surfing? What ocean are you surfing?
If you go, where there's a couple places in California you can do that in like the OC.
I'm going to Colorado.
I know you are, but that's out west. Yeah. You're not surfing in
general. I was real concerned. I was like,
I'm not surfing in Colorado.
Is landlocked
at the surf park. You know, it's like all those spring breakers that were there in 2016 or whatever, and then had children. They moved to Colorado and opened up some surf parks. They're like, hey, look at this. This is fantastic.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize you were talking about California. No, we haven't been to California. That's a big trip.
Go.
That will be. I almost think it'll be a 2-week.
Oh my word, I love California.
Because like if we're going, like I want to go and be a part of it. And
people are always like too in California. People are like, oh, there's so many liberals out there. I'm like, well, are you going walking and talking to people? Like I'm on the beach.
Somebody told me that once when I was talking about how I wanted to go to California, and there was one of my friends. She was like, it's too liberal, and I was like, are the trees liberal?
I'm not going to vote.
I'm going to try food. I want to eat seafood. I want to see redwood trees.
Like I know there's weird people. There's weird people here. I'll introduce you to them. Like I will show you some people that give California people a run.
Just go to a county fair, baby. Just go to a county fair. You'll see them all over the place. They come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about the county fair people. And for those of you that go to county fair, we love you.
Yep.
But there are co-walker out there.
But yeah, so back to my Grease. Like my Grease is like everybody goes to the same place.
Yeah.
Every single year. Like there are
or a similar location.
Yeah. There are diehard people that like I'm going to Clearwater, Florida every single spring break, which is cool. Like my best friend, that was what her family did. And they took me one time and it was like the greatest time ever.
Sure.
We made friends from Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
Who knew? You know, like it was this really cool trip. But like
I just high five people. Like if I see somebody, I just high five. I'm like, hey man, good to see you or whatever.
But like go elsewhere, you know? America's huge.
It is.
Go somewhere else. Go to another warm place.
Yeah.
Go to a Mexico warm place. Go.
Pick said warm place on map and arrive at destination.
Anywhere near the equator, it's gonna be warm.
True. And the funny thing is, like, if you're gonna fly, like, I know a lot of people go to Florida or down south or whatever. If you're gonna fly, like, it's pretty much the same going to like Arizona as it is like Florida or whatever.
It really is.
What else just grinds you?
Okay, so now I'm so salty about this right now.
I love it. You're wound up.
I'm so salty about this. Okay, so our school, and I know other schools do this as well, they take off.
Oh, you're talking about the school that your kids go to?
Yeah.
Okay.
That your kids go to too.
Well, you said our school. I was like,
our.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm like, you going to school? Did you just
maybe? I'm learning how to do fractions.
I'm be chef.
So our school lets out on Thursdays. Mm-hmm. For people who want to go,
I pull my kids out early. I'm just telling you that right now.
So this is my point.
Yeah.
So I don't know when they started doing that.
Yeah.
But like people were pulling their kids out the Friday before spring break.
Yep. So they have a little bit more time.
So that they have a little bit more time.
Yep.
Okay. But now people like you.
People like you.
Kids
you
out
people.
on Thursdays. And so somebody last night, I was just talking to them and they were like, why don't we just take Thursday off? And I was like, because eventually it's going to be like, well, why don't we just take 2 weeks off?
Yeah.
And then why don't we just take, like the whole month? And then it turns into this, like, you take 1 inch, they give 1 inch and you take a mile kind of a thing.
The funny thing is teachers do the same thing.
Teachers do the same thing.
Like they bail out.
Like, just,
it is what it is.
I don't know. Just go in the allotted time frame.
Well, I mean, the only reason we did.
But you preach.
Yeah. So
well.
we have like the weekends are kind of like locked for us.
Yeah.
But yeah. There is kind of that. This actually is the first year. So we used to do this every single year with Bethany's family. We stopped doing it because of the fact that things got like very like college-esque. I don't know how else to say that. And then we kind of just revisited it. Like, hey, this is good for our family to take a week and, just like, because we don't do that a whole lot. Yeah. So I don't know if we'll continue it or not, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So what else you got over there, Angry Bear?
I don't know. Do you got anything?
You
haven't shared
greases?
Any greases.
Oh.
Do you have any greases for spring break?
Yeah. This isn't, it is the same way I feel about, like I'm trying to think of like Mardi Gras or St. Patrick's Day.
The debauchery.
It's like your get out of jail free card. What's the movie? The Purge. There's a movie out called The Purge, and basically it's like, hey, this is your one day you can get away with any crime that you want.
Yeah,
we are almost there. Like in a society, we are pretty close to it. Like there are some things where I go, like. I think it's fantastic that this would be a grace. I think it's fantastic that families take time and they step away and they're like, okay, we need to slow down or whatever the case is. But it does feel like there's a couple things in life where it's like, hey, this is like green light. You can do whatever you want and you don't have to worry about what other people are doing. So like, I do love the beach. I do love like warm weather and stuff like that. It's getting kind of hard to go to a public place where it's like, do we believe in any forms of modesty? Or is that just like flown out the window?
No.
It's gone. It's just totally gone. And I miss that, even though I wasn't around for it, I miss that classiness that was there, even whether you're on the beach or whatever the case is. Now it's like, hey, I wear as little as I possibly can. I say whatever I want. I do whatever I want. So now you got to put up with like drunkenness,
There's no regard.
all that stuff. There's nothing.
There's no regard for families. Which, like, okay, so putting myself like back into that age, which makes me sound so old to be.
Yeah, because it's like you haven't been gone for long.
I haven't, but I mean,
long
like,
enough. You've been gone for long enough.
Back into like the mentality of being in college and on spring break, like we were probably just as bad. I don't know. Well, maybe I was probably bad.
So here's the thing. Like I've lived in a secular environment and I've lived in the Christian campus environment. There are definitely Christian college students that like will red light. They'll try to like go as close to the line as they possibly can and they'll take off. I did have a couple students for spring break one time. They did what you did or are doing and they just went out west. And I was like, dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
They filled up a car. There was like 5 of them. The goal was to get to the Grand Canyon back. That was their whole goal. That's all they did. So they like took like, it was like trip of a lifetime. And they did it on like $200.
Wow.
A piece. Because they're like, hey, we're just going to go.
I like it.
Yeah, like that's fantastic to me. I love those stories. But then there's also like things at red light. When I was in the secular world, like every day was like that.
Yeah.
I know that sounds really bad, but like I was like, I don't need a spring break to go nuts. Like I can go nuts on my own, like it's Tuesday. We used to have like
celebrate.
We used to do
lunchtime.
that. Yeah, we used to like have people over and they're like, what's the occasion? I was like, I don't know, it's Wednesday. Like what do we need a reason for? That's why people love taking out. They'd be like, wait, you're having people overnight? I'm like, yeah. They're like, when? I'm like, tonight. For what? And I'm like, it's Wednesday. So I don't know.
Bought pizza rolls, y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I had no regard for any family
really
members. Yeah, when I was that age, like because like I was like 19, like
you just don't
you
care.
have no care in the world. I mean, like I spent
your brain has literally not developed yet.
Yeah, it hasn't. Yeah. So like you have no regard whatsoever. So we have gotten into the practice of like letting Miles and Owen know, like, hey, this is the world around us.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear words that we do not say as a family because that is not words that.
And the funny thing is, they know them.
They know them.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, Mom, and I'm like, do we say that in this family? And they're like, no. And so like we've had to kind of like get to that point where it's like be in the world, not of the world, kind of a thing. And I mean, like Miles definitely is very drawn to that. Like I could very easily see him trying to partake.
Well, and
I just pray.
We're in this crazy situation where, like, for example, my oldest, she just talked to me about this today, and she was like, hey, I want to run on spring break. And I'm like, we're going to have to talk about that. And she's like, why? I was like, because running is fine. Like, I'm all about that. But here's the problem. Like, you can't run down there like you run here. We know our neighborhood. We know our block. Like, this is a very heavily populated area. Like, you don't just get to, like, go off on your own and, like, everything's okay. And for her to, like, comprehend that, that's frustrating. That's super greasy to me because I'm like, I know you hate that. I understand it, but it is what it is. You know?
Do you guys run together?
We could. I don't really want to.
Cute. That'd be beautiful.
About that.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm just trying to make her dreams come true here, okay?
Yeah, so that's my like big time grease with it is just that like
it's a green card.
It is.
Kind of. But like you still got to deal with them consequences. I mean, like y'all have some spring break tattoos and spring break babies.
I mean, spring break babies.
Like
SBB.
There's some babies that have been born as a
let me tell you my birth story.
Like there's consequences y'all have to still deal with. That's what that's what I find is greasy. Is like it's not really consequence free.
Yeah,
necessarily.
No, it's not. There are consequences, but like,
or like if you get arrested, like.
I guess I just like even the decency. If you want to go nuts, like I'm not asking you to live my lifestyle. I understand that. But if you want to go nuts, can you just be mindful that I'm around? Like that's all I'm asking.
You be mindful that my kids are around.
Exactly.
And they're seeing it.
They're staring at you.
Like this is what they're taking in.
Yeah, and they're like, what is happening? And then they look at me and they're like, hey, explain this. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to Sodom and Gomorrah because it's happening in real life.
Yeah, it is like a time.
What else you got?
It's a time. I'm trying to think of any other greases. I mean, realistically,
I can keep going.
Like just like seeing, we haven't done spring breaks. So for a really long time, we didn't really spring break because I had my restaurant. And so
you can't just leave for a week.
You can't just leave for a week. A
like
whole entire week would like kill me.
I mean, think about all the losses that you'd have there.
Yeah. And then COVID, we had little kids, so like we haven't really done spring break in a really long time. And then like before even having kids, like we were just poor newlywed people. So,
well, that's how I feel. Like we used to do this all the time, and then life got busy.
Yeah,
we had all the stuff happen, with pandemic, and then it was like now we're just getting our feet back from under us, and now we're like, okay, wait, hold on a second. It's been 10 years. Like what?
Yeah.
What do we even do?
What do we do?
Now?
Yeah.
Which is my other grease is why do we? You may be able to answer this. Why do we do these ebbs and flows that seem so unhealthy? Like it's like, hey, because I know what's going to happen. I'll just tell you right now. I'm going to go down and we're going to be in this spot or whatever, and it's be like, okay, let's slow down. I live with the accelerator on all day long.
I do too.
I can't like tell my body to like sleep in.
Yeah.
My body looks at me and like, no, bud, you've programmed me to get up at 4:00 in the morning. So that's like the hard part is there's in life, how did we get to this point where we're like, gas pedal, brake, gas pedal, brake?
Yeah. The Italians seem to really have it like figured out. I've learned they have a saying. I've learned it's like il dolce fa niente. And
what does that mean?
The joy of doing nothing.
Oh man,
and
I don't know that joy.
So they like learn. It's like a learned thing. Well, it's a cultural thing there, but
Paris is like that too.
Like they are not really in a hurry. Like it will get done.
Yeah.
It will get done. The end. And we don't, I think because we are in such a like capitalistic society that like, gotta get it done, gotta get it done, gotta get it done, gotta get it done, gotta meet these deadlines, gotta meet these goals, you know, and all of these things. Yeah. And it just like drives people to, because like that's your livelihood, right? Like that it's pushing you to make sure that you're able to afford, you know, if you want a boat, you can buy a boat and stuff like that. But at the expense of
there's always a consequence
slowing down and being able to be comfortable in that slow pace.
And there's no way I'm slowing down for a week. Like there's, because here's really truly what I need. I need a month. Because the first week is just my body like shifting over to the fact that like, okay, we took it down a notch. And then the second week is like kind of like adjusting to that. And then the third week is like, okay, that's the vacation week.
I want to go out and explore.
Yeah, so let's do this. And then the fourth week needs to be reacclimation back to your other like gig.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm kind of like right. I like to think that I'm kind of in between because owning a business, and I'm not like turning it back, like, look, you know, but owning a business, like I like gas pedal go the whole 8 years that I had it. It was just nonstop. And so I know what that feels like. And I never want to do that ever again.
Yeah.
And so I'm almost like on the other side of it now where I'm like, okay, you got to slow down and like take it in.
Yeah.
And so like my goal, first and foremost, Miles has told me since he was like 5, he's never getting married. He's never having a family. He's traveling. And I'm like, great. Okay.
Do it, buddy.
So like, I'm like, cool, but let's nurture that. Owen just wants to be a dad and I don't know, hang out. I don't know. Yeah. But Miles, like he wants to play soccer and he wants to travel. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Like, let's go and travel. And let's take in, like, let's learn how to take in the areas that we're around in. I mean, we talked about it, how people are always on their phones and, like, taking in things through their screen. And so, like, we will not hardly have any pictures, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're just going to do life.
Because, like, we're just there. Like, I want to take in the sights of the mountains when you wake up in the morning. Because as of right now, like...
we don't have any mountains.
I like to pretend sometimes, like, the clouds are mountains.
It is so true. I mean, like, I talked to a friend of mine the other day, and I said, I just feel like I get up and go to bed. Like I feel like I get up, and he's like, Jordan, that's your life. Like he's like right now. He's like, it's gonna change. There's gonna be a time where you're gonna have a lot of time again. He's like, that happened when you were young. You had no concept of time. Like you didn't understand that there were things that were gonna like happen. And he's like, and now everything's on a schedule because your kids are on. Yeah, he's like, it's just how it is. He's like, it won't be like that forever. And I'm like, I want to believe you so bad.
I do, but then I also am like, oh, what do I do at that time?
Yeah,
like, that's a lot of time then.
Yeah, because it does. It feels like my day's over by the time I get up. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, dude, today, I don't know where the time has
I'm
gone.
booked. I knew it was over. Yeah.
Whoa.
And so there's a lot of times I have to tell myself, like, hey, you just need to enjoy this hour. You need to just be present in this hour. Don't worry about it being over. Like, just like, and I think that's something, you know, this is funny because I caught myself doing it the other day. My youngest just finished up her basketball season and my oldest just finished up her swimming season. And I told her, I've told both of them in the season, I said, enjoy this moment. Now, here's the crazy thing. You don't know. They don't know. They have no idea what I'm saying. But now, like, I get it. I'm like, oh.
Just take that silence in.
It doesn't matter if you win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you lose. You do your best.
Yeah.
Just enjoy being here.
It's like, I always equate it to like, okay, so one of my favorite things to do after we've driven, I don't care if it's a long drive, if it's a short drive, like once I get into my driveway and turning off the car and the stillness, that is like the best feeling. And that's the feeling that they're in right now. But they don't understand that quite yet.
They don't know that. Huh?
So I think it's interesting. And this could kind of be a grease because I found myself kind of like stressing out a little bit about it.
Yeah.
So we're going to Colorado. We're going somewhere that we've never really been, which I'm super excited about. Everybody is really excited about it. I want to have this big grand vacation. Like I want it to be so memorable.
You have like all these ideals in your head.
I have all of these things. So like I was like, okay, so one day we're gonna go like on a ropes course and we're gonna go zip lining and we're gonna go to like
you're almost
a
like
hot
planning
spring.
away your vacation.
Yeah, and so like I wanted to like take the boys ATV riding and like have like so many adventures because like that's what they see on a really popular like channel that rhymes with Schmood Schmurfict.
Are you guys gonna go out to? No, their headquarters aren't there. Never mind.
No, so they're in Texas, but like you see all these adventurous families, like and you want your kids to like have this.
Yeah.
But then like I was looking at it and I'm like,
but they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Their most memorable thing will be like, our hotel had a pool.
Exactly.
And like they'll remember like we are gonna be going on a horseback like sunset horseback riding with like a
but those things are too planned.
Dinner.
They're too planned.
They're so planned. But like my kids will remember like the horse that pooped. Like it's not gonna be like anything else. And I think that it is a grease that we are so busy in life that then we get to a spring break where we should kind of allow ourselves to pause a little bit more, spend time with our family, but we overbook it. And so then we are going into spring break, like overstressed, making sure that we're hitting these timelines and hitting these deadlines and like, you're constantly going that it doesn't feel like a vacation at all.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like I found myself kind of like reeling and then I was like, okay, Kim, you got to take it back. Like, the boys are not even close to the sizes that need to be able to like
they won't even go
on a zip line. Like they won't be able to go on a zip line, or anything like that. And so it's like, no, right now we're just going to enjoy the nature. Like get back to the reason why we chose the state of Colorado. And I think a lot of times we overbook our spring breaks because we're so used to going.
And you take what you love to that place. Yeah. You're just going to a location to be with it. Like, the drive down, 12, 13, 14 hours. Like I look at that and I go, oh man, like that's so long. I'm like, you get 14 hours with your spouse. Like Jordan, like soak that in, you know what I mean? Like enjoy every minute of that drive. It's not just like, okay, we got to get down there. That's probably like just me getting older though, where I'm going, Bethany asked me the other day, she's like, you gonna work out while we're in Florida? And I was like, yeah. She's like, why? I was like, cause I love it. And I was like, that's like, that to me is routine. Relaxing. And there's no time now on the clock, So it's like, I stay in that routine, but at the same time, now there's no, like, you don't have to stare at that clock and be like, okay, like, I got to get this done before this meeting happens or whatever the case is. Like, hey, if it's 9 o'clock and you're done, cool. If it's 10 o'clock and you're done, cool. Like, there's no, just like that breath of fresh air. But again, I think it's so hard, and that's probably the frustrating part is we get to this point where we're like, we tell our bodies what it has to do, and then we get frustrated when either our body doesn't act that way or we've set those high parameters.
Or your body gets sick because you've been pushing it too hard, and this is the first time that you've relaxed. How many stories have you heard of people who are like, oh, I got so sick, like the whole spring break.
Because you gave up.
Because you just didn't allow your body to just like at the end of the evening. Like how many people? I mean,
my goal at some point in life is to always be ready to go somewhere without packing. Like so if somebody were to call me and be like, hey, do you want to go here? I'd be like, it would take me legitimately 15 minutes to like, just a second. Let me grab my bag. Let me grab, these 3 essentials or whatever. I'm absolutely ready to go. Right now I got to load up a whole stinking car to like, head out on a trip. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like we do not need this much stuff. See, you have girls.
I'm down to a bag. I'm down to a bag with the boys and
That's
a bag.
Easy though. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it is when we got like out of the diaper
You're
stage,
washing their clothes in a sink.
I was like, oh my goodness, I got room in my trunk. I can throw a friend back here if I need to. Mylanta, we can do gymnastics in the back of this car with all the room I got. I don't have to do the pack and play. I don't have to do the diapers. I don't have to do anything.
Oh, you remember the pack and play days? Oh
man. It was a must. Now It's one bag, baby. One bag, and they're backpacks. So I'm like, fill that backpack, and you're gonna walk through that airport with all your clothes
And
on.
the best part is they bring the most ridiculous stuff. Like, here's a Ninja Turtle, and like, you know, you're like,
those are not essentials.
Yeah,
boys.
like that's the best part. And this Brian moving into Grace, you know, which is like, it is funny. I watched what my girls just packed, you know, to get ready to go, and like some of the stuff they're bringing, I'm like, for real?
Why you need that?
Taking that? And they're like, yeah. I'm like,
we're going to Florida. I don't think you need your snowsuit, baby.
Like, what are we doing? Like, you're 12. You're taking stuffed animals? Like, what is happening right now? You know, like,
it's important,
like,
Dad.
yeah, like, get out of here.
It's my favorite.
I used to do that all the time. I'd pack like I remember we used to take trips as a family. There was this like long tube, and then there was like this like circle thing that went on the tube. I think it was like a ring toss game, right?
Okay.
So I took it one trip, and my dad's like, "Why are you taking that?" And I was like, "It's my steering wheel." And he's like, "What?" So we get in the car, and I took the tube and I smashed it between his like headrest and the seat, and I drove the whole way there. And he's like, what is happening right now? I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
But at least you were entertained.
I was entertained. We didn't have DVD players. We did not have phones. Like,
so we just did. I don't remember where we went, but we we went for Christmas. We went to Josh's family's, and it's a 12-hour drive. Like, it's not anything wild and crazy.
Kansas,
but like,
right?
Yeah. But it's boring. There is nothing. So the boys, like, they are okay without screens.
Sure.
But like after a while, it's like, we got to do something. So I was like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do an old game that Mom and Uncle Caleb used to play. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, my dad owns a grocery store. And in that grocery store,
A, B, C, D.
He has apples.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to.
And then you gotta like recycle it. Yeah.
Nobody in my car knew how to do it. And so then
we used to do that where we would
go through the whole alphabet.
We did through the whole alphabet, but I would remember it on the way back. Like,
whoa,
yeah.
No, we would start new ones.
Yeah.
But like, it was as though I was teaching them to memorize the U.S. Constitution. I was like, no, you have to say like, okay, so then the next one is the letter B. And they'd be like, okay, my dad owns a grocery store. He has apples and B. And I'm like, no, it has to be a word that starts with
a B.
Okay, my dad has a grocery store and he has apples and zucchini. And I'm like, no, it starts with the letter B.
You're pulling the car over to the side of the road.
Veins are popping out of my head. And I'm like, what does your dad own in the grocery store?
Did you ever do the game where you had to like pick out the letters on like the signs? So you go A, B, C, D.
Yes,
like,
we
like
did that
one?
until we got to Q.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that my youngest might have had an existential crisis trying to find
Q.
Yeah.
Well, and then you get down like the road and you're like, the game's over and you're like, there's a Q. Yeah.
Well, I told Josh, I was like, realistically, like, I think everybody has played that in their car.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like the random letters just along the highway, like the United States Department of Roads needs to just make a sign.
Just put like
of,
random
like,
letters.
Q. X. Although X is on exit. So it's like Q. What is the other hard one? Z.
We do license plates.
See, we used to try and not use license plates.
Gotcha.
But we would normally have to make an exception for
Q. Like Qs or whatnot.
Because it would be, I mean, like.
That would be what I'd like to hear people about. Like, so every episode we ask, like, just, to hear you guys' thoughts and comments. I would love to know what games you played as a kid in the car. Yeah. That would be huge to me.
Yeah.
Like, what was like the staple thing that you looked at and you're like, we played this every single car trip?
Yeah, because those were our games.
Oh, yeah.
Those were our games. Or like we're going to the zoo, and at the zoo is, like we did a lot of alphabet games.
Oh, 100%. We also would like draw lines in the car. Like, this is my side, this is your side. We used to do that all the time.
What do you mean?
Oh, like you could not cross a line.
Oh.
Like, no. My poor parents.
We would play dots.
Oh, yeah. There used to be like, remember like stopping at truck stops? There used to be like those highlighter, like you get like a magic marker, and it would like, those were so fun.
They don't have those anymore because I was like, I'm trying to have like a road trip without screens. Like, let's have a road trip without screens where we're just existing kind of a thing.
Yeah.
those are non-existent.
So Bethany and I did this years ago. For the girls, we bought 2 Trapper Keepers with folders, and in the folders we put like Sudoku in there, and we put markers in there, and coloring pencils and coloring books and all that other stuff.
I've done a clipboard with papers and like coloring sheets, and I printed off this last time some dots.
Yeah.
I printed off some word searches.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just exist.
Yeah.
But then I forget, like, they're still brothers, so they're still gonna fight. And so the fight was like, Miles is taking the boxes that he's cheating. And I'm like, then don't put the 3rd line on the box, dummy, because then you're giving it to him. Like, it was a whole.
We used to do that, like, the funny thing was those Trapper Keepers traveled for like years.
Really?
They just stayed in the car, and the girls, we would go like an hour to a place, and the girls would just pick them up.
Yeah,
we just kind of kept adding to them or whatnot.
Yeah. That's a good time.
All right,
we're already done.
What do you want to hear?
Holy moly! I want to hear, where was your favorite, like your best spring break trip?
That's a good one. What was yours? What was yours?
Well, we haven't really gone like on spring
You're
breaks,
hoping that this is going to be it.
One of my
I hope this is going to be
faves was when I went to Clearwater with my best friend. Her mom and her ended up having food poisoning for like 3 days of it.
Aww.
It was so boring. But like, we met friends from Fort Wayne, and like their parents and our parents her parents just let us like walk around.
Yeah,
this was
and
this was Clearwater prior to being commercialized, because Clearwater has since been like heavily
big time
touristicized and commercialized. But this was like when it was kind of the old school, and so like we got to like go and walk down Pier 4, I think Pier 44 or something
with like
uncrowded.
Uncrowded,
no worry, not a care in the world.
Yep.
And our friends were a little bit older than us, so like they were making sure that like we're safe, and they were in the hotel across from us, and it was just a really like fun time. I had never been to Florida at that time, so it was just a good time.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Man, I don't even know. Because I cannot figure out what constitutes a spring break and not spring break, because we're so big on like making sure that we take family trips. So it's never been like I could probably tell you what the best trip was, but in regards to like, oh, this was actually like a spring break trip, I'm not sure.
Would you ever go out of the country for a spring break?
Go out of the country?
Yeah. My sister-in-law, her and her family, they go to like Mexico, and like different. They don't ever go to the same place. It's really kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's my goal eventually.
I mean, the hard part is you go across the pond. Like, I mean, you really want to probably be there for 2 weeks instead of 1, because it's pretty hard to like, I mean, you got to factor in like 2, maybe 3 days for travel. Yeah. But there's that.
Yeah.
I would want to hear like your car games. I think those are huge. Also, do you go or not? Like
last year I didn't go, and that was the last year that we're not going.
Yeah. Like, do you take this time off, and if you don't take this time off, do you take time off ever, or do you just like kind of bypass it or whatever? But those would be my like. And
then, for anybody who like doesn't know where to go, where
would you go? Yeah, where would you send people?
If you had no funds, like not no funds, but like money was a non-issue.
Yep.
Where would you go?
What's really funny is like, what would be yours? Like real quick, like what would be your like ultimate destination?
I think it used to be Italy, but I'm going to Italy next year.
Yeah.
I think either Greece, because it's gorgeous. I would also really like to go and visit Africa somewhere. I don't know where, but Greece has always struck my fancy.
Yeah. Here's what I would do.
I'm a big European country. Like, I want to see a lot of those.
I don't even think it's like where you land at. I would make the trip part of like the spring break. So like, in other words, like
travel.
When like let's just say we're taking like 4 days to travel. So like let's just say we're gonna go to Italy or whatever, which is cool. But I would get like first class tickets on a plane. So like that
Go all
is
out.
So that is the experience, right? And then but like before we leave, like there's like a meal involved in that. And then when you land or whatever, it's not like this rush. I would make all of that travel like super
intentional.
Yeah. Because I think so many people for spring break, they're just like, okay, we got to get there. And then we get there, like, relax.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we're relaxed. Now we got to get back.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I think you missed a point. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, well, hit us up.
Right.
Let us know. Here's some ways that you can reach out to us and continue the conversation. We want to hear your thoughts. We love to hear your thoughts, especially to those questions and others as well. You can do that through greaseandgracepod@gmail.com or visit our website, greaseandgracepod. Wait, we don't have a website anymore. That's gone. Never mind.
We don't have a website anymore.
Peace out, bye. That was dumb. That was a bad thing.
Just kidding.
Yeah, sorry.
Just making sure you're paying attention.
Social media is the best place, which is like our Facebook page. If you don't have a Facebook page, you should get one. Like, just do it. Don't be that guy or
Just
girl
don't
where you're
listen
like,
to our social media.
it's people like Facebook is for old people. Hold
That's
up
where
a
people
second.
get information.
Let me tell you something. There's this thing called groups on Facebook. I learned how to do so many things on Facebook groups.
I'm part of a Bernese Mountain Dog group, and some of the pictures that they show, I'm like, I don't think this pertains to necessarily Bernese Mountain Dogs. This is just for dogs.
Yeah, like it's crazy. Anyway, so here you go. Rate it, comment it, subscribe to it, whatever platform that you're listening on. Share it with your friends and family. Share it with your neighbors. Anybody that you come in contact with, be like, hey, I listen to Grease and Grace. You should too.
Listen to Grease and Grace on your travels for spring break.
Yeah, so do that. Until then, thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Until next time.
A goodbye, bye.
Bye-bye.